Underdog Daily with the Badge Bros, Jon and Nez hanging out, Black and Yellow Dog app platform of the people, Underdog Fantasy. And man, we got like over 100,000 in prizes up for grabs across baseball and basketball today. So we're going to break it all down. We got 7 games of MLB on the main slate, 8 in total. And then we got 10 games of hoops. Do our best to kind of go game by game here, but talk about some of our favorite stacks, talk about some of the weather, and then talk about some of our favorite plays in the NBA streets. There, Nez, how we feeling today?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. I had a good night slate last night, which saved the day on the whole because NBA was a disaster. I autoed everything, but it was DeMar DeRozan night, so that's an automatic L because I'm not gonna be there for that. And then the day slate, I got killed. And I don't even want to talk about the first game on the slate, but I got killed on the day slate. But the night slate saved my ass. Shout out Chase DeLauder. Shout out Dominic Canzone. We're back.
Hey, that's fun because that's two of our guys getting you home on opening night there. So that's legit right there.
Yeah, man, Canzone. I wish I had more than 6 shares in the dinger right now, man.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we'll talk ad nauseum about small sample sizes in baseball and stuff like that, but he does have a fun all or nothing left-handed profile swing, like a little bit of Varsho in there, a little bit of Kerry Bonds light in there, like that's kind of his vibe, right?
Right. Statcast darling, but I mean, that's a hell of a way to open up the season there. Two solo bombs. Oh man.
Yeah, all in all, fun day yesterday. Kind of time of the year, Nez, where you need your best man on the remote. You need your best man on the remote because you're hopping all over the place, right? Like I was going from day game to now all of a sudden it's like, oh, we got 45 seconds left in college hoops. Oh, now we're over to Hornets and Knicks. Then we're back to some of the puck games that had playoff implications. Like you need your best guy on the remote. You need your multi-screens going right now.
Yeah, I mean, I was all baseball all day yesterday, but yeah, you still got to be, even with baseball, you got to be on your toes there. You got the multi-view up, got to make sure that you've got every active game possible, make sure you got all your sweats appropriately on screen. I mean, it's a good problem to have, but
yeah, great problem to have. Dude, unfortunately, I wrote off the Cards game too early. Like my mental checklist was not there. Like I was like, oh man, they're down like 5 Cobb or whatever. And or maybe I think they were down. Yeah, they were down 5 or 6. And I was just like, oh, whatever. Drew Rasmussen looks kind of nice with it. I'm going to turn that one off and never go back. And then missed all of the comeback of the Cards coming back to make that one 9-7 against the Rays.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of that game. I also didn't draft any of that game, much of that game, especially the Cardinal side. I drafted some Rays stuff, but not enough in good combos. But yeah, I wrote that one off too big time. And next thing I know, I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah. All right, Nez, let's pop in here. We got a lot to get through today, so we'll just hit last night real quick there. Your boy had a similar fate there when it came to the hoop stuff, but we'll start in the MLB streets here. We did 7 web gems all on stream there, and none of them cashed, so love to see it. Big Fly Champion, the fantasy grinder, Best Ball Alec comes through yesterday, drops off 50 Badge Bros memberships, and then proceeds to take down 1K in this bad boy. So shout out to him. Good things happen, man. I believe Gumby had a top 5 after coming on the program and dropping off a bunch of memberships as well. Good things happen when you drop off memberships at the Badge Bros doors, and that's what our guy Ryan's looking for today, because he drops off 1 Badge Bros membership. He sees the writing on the wall that this is how you get the good juju going into 2 big Friday slates.
It's that simple, folks. It's that simple. We're going to pass around the collection plate now. Offer what you can. Good luck tonight.
Good stuff, man. As you guys can see here, he had that Tampa Bay stack, which proved pretty strong there. That Jonathan Aranda stuff aged beautifully. Homers yesterday. Does it without Junior Caminaro. Definitely could have got Caminaro in here, but Roman Anthony has a nice day there. Jordan Alvarez, this could have been a really nice day if the ball doesn't hit the roof. That ball looked like it was leaving the yard and it hits the roof instead. And then Michael Nelson Trout, high scoring outfielder. I don't know if that's entirely true on the entirety of the slate, but at the draft frequency in which we were dealing with, he was like the highest scoring within our player pool there. You get that. That's a no negative correlation versus your own pitcher there, but it was a swap, so you can't control that. But shout out to Best Ball Alec for that one. Going to the web gem here. Will Rush has been around for a long time. Awin is up there as well. Will Rush gets the Garrett Crochet. Garrett Crochet was the right answer. Him and Christopher Sanchez were the right answer to the upper echelon of which pitchers to have yesterday. And then he goes full 5-man Milwaukee stack there with Rake Bowers and Sal Frelick mixed in. Just chef's kiss to one of our favorite stacks from yesterday.
Yeah, that was that's a sick team. Shout out Will Rush. I'm just glad it wasn't a David Hamilton team.
I bet you the one in second of A-wins is.
No.
Oh, no. It was a 4+1, but
Yeah.
same sort of thesis there. Yeah, as you guys can see, different archetypes of builds getting home in different style contests. And then we will see our guy, Easy, my quant, the man that we shamelessly plugged his tools and the S words on stream through Dinger season here. He gets it done in the main contest. This was also a Michael Nelson Trout swap there for the Jackson Churio stuff. So people were really on that Milwaukee stack. So he had a 3-man Milwaukee stack. And then it was Michael Bush, who was one of the highest scoring infielders there, Yandy Diaz, and then Tariq Skubal. You didn't even need as long as you stayed afloat at pitcher, you did not need the 19 or 21 from Sanchez, because 17 was enough if you got the rest of the stuff right.
Yeah, I don't think minus 3.33 from schemes was going to cut it yesterday. But yeah, shout out Easy. Shout out Easy, man. Good for him. Most important slate of the year, opening day.
Absolutely. Most important slate of the year. Shout out to our guy. Troy sees the writing on the wall and he goes, man, I got to make this happen. He's like, I got to make this happen. Drops off one Bash Bros membership for the run. Good.
Let's go.
Anything else to say on the main slate from yesterday, Nez?
No, okay. Not really. Glad baseball is back. I had a horrible afternoon.
The one thing that I would just say from yesterday, just in general, is more like preachy evergreen reminder to everybody. And I said something to the effect yesterday about elongating the sample size of baseball and just have to know that you're going to be playing multiple weeks, multiple whatever, because it's like no other sport where, you know, Skeens can be the best pitcher on the slate, have a nice projection, and then he ends up with a negative score and sinks, 1/6 of lineups and stuff like that. The stuff that I would remind people is, we talked about it yesterday, we're going to talk about it again today, that like the fragility in the quote unquote best stacks on the slate, just being like, they can turn into binary outcome bets, and they can turn into like the best stack on a slate is like a 1 in 5 opportunity to get there. So like, Stochastic used to do this. BATX kind of does it, but not really. They do like optimal or likelihood of stack being optimal percentages and stuff like that. And, we were talking about Boston yesterday. We were talking about the Reds. We were talking about Milwaukee. We were talking about the Rays. And the likelihood of any of those stacks getting home on an 8-game slate on an isolated day is like 18% and stuff like that. And it's why we preach, different forms of diversity in the baseball contests in particular.
Yeah. Yep. I'm really trying to make it a point to be like way more diverse this year portfolio because of that.
Sounds good, man. Moving on to the late slate there. Only got one of them for your boy. I was surprised how big the late slate was. Shout out to the community for jamming and drafting all day there. 4-person drafts there. This was a Never Dodgers kind of slate. Cam Nez up here, Yamamoto. Then you needed yourself with a skinny stack, both the stuff from the late night hammer there, the Seattle game, which isn't necessarily a particularly good place to hit, but it paid dividends with the long ball last night. Brendan Donovan goes with a leadoff home run, gets a double as well there. Your boy Chase Delarte and Dominic Canzone down here really breaking the slate up, and then just a one-off Mookie Betts in tandem with Yamamoto. And your boy, you were up here too, man. You get that 3-man Dodgers, and then you get the 2 one-offs. Like, nobody picks one-offs like Nezzy takes here when he picks the 2 highest scoring players as the one-offs in his stat or on his team. Unbelievable, dude.
I know, and even like a sub 100% Eddie Pages, like one of the more fun Dodgers pieces this season. I mean, I really thought that I nailed this one, but yeah, no, we'll take it though. We'll absolutely take it. Like I said, this saved my night. I had like 50% Delauder, I think 30% Canzone, just jamming those guys. Just
awesome.
Yeah, just went all in on those two. Shout out to Lauder, man. That second home run was a beauty.
Yeah, it was a nuke job there. The first one was interesting because it looked like, oh my God, it's like a wall scraper wasn't going to get caught or not. And his parents didn't know if they should celebrate or not. And they were like, did he catch it? Did he catch it? And then they explode to celebrate. It was a pretty cool side-by-side clip for anyone who saw that. That's kind of all we got to say on yesterday's baseball. We'll move into today's in a half second here. T-Cage talked to Numi this morning. They're all over it. They're well aware of this. It's just kind of like a knowing the player pool at the start of the season there and pivoting it from best ball into this, and then a reliancy on the external providers, and then they have to manually tweak. So all these guys are coming in hopefully the next slate, but if not, at least like one more at most kind of thing. So yeah, these were some of the players that we noted. There's a handful of others as well, like Jesus Sanchez today and that sort of thing.
Yep. Yeah. Shout out to them for getting that done like way quicker than they did last year. It took a while last year for those things to get migrated over. Yeah. Tomorrow we're good to go. So that's awesome. Glad Perfect. that gets taken care of much faster.
Awesome. Nez alluded to it there. We didn't talk about the hoop slate yesterday, but it was a 3-person hoop slate, which had Karl Anthony Towns as the number 2 ADP there. I full faded Karl Anthony Towns yesterday, and I was very, very proud of myself. And I had so much Con Knipple, dude. I thought I was cooking, and I just didn't have enough DeMar DeRozan. I had all the DeMar DeRozan in all the world from the previous slate. Slate. And then I was like, oh, man, I can't go back to this well. He's the first guy to shut down. They got more bodies tonight. And lo and behold, DeMar DeRozan just decided to care again. So we got 60 of them in there. Shout out to T. Pollock and Danielson, who chopped this bad boy up at the top. Take a look at that one in a second here. What do we got? Jalen Duren, second night of a back-to-back, but in a quote-unquote smash spot. Pelicans started DeAndre Jordan at the 5, kind of like RKO out of nowhere. Just interesting stuff there. But you really needed that 4-hole slot or that 3-hole slot where one of these guys kind of fell, because there was kind of a tier break before you got to Desmond Bane, Zion, etc. This one, Con Knipple has a monster game there. Shout out to Dink, who was all over the Con stuff. He was like, dude, favorite play on the slate. It's amazing for catch and shoot. Like Con, we know his minutes hasn't been like that. He was like, way better play than Kobe White. And our ADP had like Kobe White ahead. So I just jammed Con when I was listening to some of that when I was walking the dog. And it worked out so well.
I'm upset. I had a lot of Con, man. I thought he was a great 6 pick, like you were saying, with Kobe White over him. I'm like, come on, man. Like Kobe White just played pure garbage. Let's get Con out here with like the better minutes, because he had some weird box scores due to some weird game flow in the past. Yeah, shout out to Con, man. He was a great play. Unfortunately, I just got smoked on this slate because I was also kind of playing Duren maybe sits. So I was getting ahead of some B-ball Paul stuff, classic. So I was light Duren. Everything went wrong for your boy.
The B-ball Paul stuff could have been kind of fun. I flirted with a lineup on the redacted side. I just played one of the medium dollar single entries or whatever, and I flirted with a lineup that was Derek Queen and B-ball Paul with garbage time versus one another. Yeah, like I was like, dude, they're both high rates guys. They're both pretty soft on the defensive end, even though they're both athletic. And I was just kind of like, yo, this could go fireworks if they played a quarter against each other kind of thing. Oh,
Sick for me.
yeah, I mean, like this is just kind of evergreen variants, Ollie, with just talking through like Rolly's talking about like just the evergreen variants of like 4-person drafts on a 3-game slate. Like we're gonna be working with this dynamic for the remainder of the season when it comes to these playoff pools. And like, yeah, sometimes it's just the luck of the roll. Like, do you wind up with one of those combos? Like I wound up with one of those combos, but then unfortunately I was dumb enough to put Sadiq Bey and Jalen Suggs in it kind of deal. So yeah, I mean, it's just the nature of short slate NBA, whether the combos at the top are available or not. Played way too much Suggs, played way too much Bay, but loved the Duran, loved the Con stuff, loved LaMelo as well, just because, man, when he gets hot in spots that matter, he just goes nuke. Loved Brunson over the Cat stuff, but DeRozan was really kind of my shortcoming, and Suggs was really my shortcoming last night there, Nez. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Baseball here. How far are you in your process for the 7-gamer today?
Very far. I'm putting in about as much volume as I physically can at this point. I think I'm at like 70. So,
wow, good for you. Well done, man. Yeah, it's not not for the faint of heart to be getting 70 hand drafted MLBs in. Mad respect.
No. I mean, I'll auto some here and there, but yeah, it's it was an all day, all morning thing. But it's your second slate of the season, 40K. I'm trying to get this thing filled.
Love it, man. Respect the hustle. Your boy got 12 of them in this morning here, and I'll continue to do so and get up to my like 30, 35, and then try and get 50 in hoops as I'm prone to do there. Let's talk about, before we get into like weather and all that fun stuff, let's just kind of talk about the macro lay of the land for you on the slate. What was standing out to you that was different about today versus tomorrow versus anything else?
Weather seemed pretty negligible. Some cold weather in KC, but it's not like those are great spots with the anyhow. Dodgers obviously standing out. The Blue Jays very much standing out like that. I haven't gotten a Vlad Springer yet, and yeah, I mean, I didn't think that would be that hard to get, but nobody's really letting that fall. There's some pretty fun spots to get off the board today, so I'm kind of enjoying it.
Okay, cool, man. Yeah, definitely stone cold chalk today being that of the Toronto Blue Jays. There is an interesting dynamic to the slate in terms of we have a couple teams making their like opening day debut. Like the Yankees aren't on our slate today, but that's the second game of their series. But KC at Atlanta, Colorado at Miami, and the Athletics at Toronto. Those are kind of like the 3 debuts. And then the other 4 games on the slate are repeats from yesterday kind of thing. Yeah, and as you alluded to, not a ton of weather effects. Bring up the ballpark, pal, for everybody. It is free for the first week of the season if you guys want to go in there and tap in on that. But we have Minute Maid, never going to call it not Minute Maid, just like T-Mobile, never going to not call it Safeco. But Evergreen, that Safeco is bad for hitting. Petco, kind of bad for hitting. Definitely worse than yesterday in terms of shifting this game time by like 4 hours. We'll talk a lot about Marine Layer in San Diego when we push into these like early evening / night games in San Diego. Houston, better for right-handed pitching with right-handed hitting with the Crawford boxes. Toronto played really well for left-handed power last year. We'll see if that holds true this year or not. It was like top 4 or 5 in all of baseball for left-handed power last year. Miami, Lone Depot, kind of just evergreen that it's bad for hitting, but we did see some nukes go out in the World Baseball Classic there, so that's a little bit encouraging. And then Truist Park is usually quite the hitter-friendly environment, but as you noted, Atlanta playing a little bit cooler than usual today. A lot of middling totals like we kind of saw yesterday. We'll look at the implieds from either side, though. But you basically have ace on ace crime in this Royals and Braves game. You have a bad hitting environment with 2 bad lineups in Rockies and Marlins, but maybe we can find some fun stuff to play because The caliber of pitching in that one is a little less so than other environments there. Blue Jays, Stone Cold Chalk, Athletics, a little bit more expensive probably than they should be just because of the athletics tax we pay on our site and their propensity to hit home runs. Yeah, man. And then this is our first Dodgers slate, and that's a new wrinkle because, people were playing the late slate last night. It's every single day, all the damn time, people chasing Dodgers super stacks in every single draft room. And if the Dodgers super stack gets home, Nez and I, dating back a long time, have a certified never Dodgers policy, which is a little bit tongue in cheek, but it's hard to obtain the super stack, and you're going to have to do a whole bunch of drafts to get the best Dodgers team. So what's the cleanest path to first place? Not having any Dodgers, and sometimes it bites you in the ass.
Never Dodgers, man. It's a mantra. It's a way of life. I think right now, given how deep and maybe you can model, I'm drafting Dodgers today, just to be very clear. Just not like en masse, but trying to find different, unique angles of doing it as opposed to just going from top to bottom in the order.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sounds good to me. It's definitely one of the more hitter-friendly environments on the slate. It's going to be one of the more warmer weather ones, in that like upper 60s, low 70s kind of range there. And it's Ryan Nelson on the mound. So it's kind of like, yeah, as much as, we never want to chase that crazy chalk that everybody else is fighting for, you're definitely going to want to have some access to it this evening because it will be a stack that is popping in the hashtag models. Now, as I look here, we could kind of like go game by game with some lineups and that sort of thing. But just, favorite kind of like contrarian stack, favorite chalky stack. What are you looking at here?
My favorite contrarian stack right now. I mean, I guess are we defining contrarian based on like ADP or based on like projection?
I think based on ADP. Yeah, Numi, it's definitely Nez today. We might have to do a little hop out and come back in because it keeps kind of like cutting in and out. Yeah.
All right, give me 1 second.
Yeah, just give it a on and then off again, and we'll see what happens. Okay, I'll answer my own question for Nez's sake. There, I think in a vacuum, the Marlins, like it's hard to find spots that you love when there's still so much good pitching on the slates, right? Like we're still in that like front end aces, that kind of territory, right? Yeah, so I think people really want to attack Kyle Freeland. Kyle Freeland is probably one of the most gettable pitchers on the slate, and that's going to lead Marlins to be ever so slightly overdrafted. But there's good contrarian angles to getting to Marlins. Marlins and Rockies is going to be kind of like the slop it up fest of the night where it's like not enough people are going to get to the Rockies side of it. So maybe just play a little bit of Rockies, but it's way more comfortable to get to the Marlins side of it. But if you look at, let me just bring up some implied run totals on the ballpark S words here. We're dealing with like very similar dynamics to yesterday's slate, where we have like the outlier run totals only being like fractionally better than the rest of them. I tend to agree that like the chalkiest, my favorite chalky spots are in fact the Blue Jays and the Astros, but I will be quick to remind everybody that Luis Severino had an amazing outing in the World Baseball Classic there and looked like damn near all the way back with the strikeout rate. Toronto, kind of good power, not a ton of Ks in that lineup. So yeah, it's definitely a tough spot. But like if Severino came out and spun like, 6 quality innings today, I wouldn't be shocked, right? It's just the nature of the totals on the slate here. Just pointing out that the Braves have one of the higher implied team totals just because of the strength of their lineup, but they're going up against Cole Ragans. Like this game, this Royals and Braves game is kind of like the game of the night that I want to watch. Like I'm about that. But I don't know how much of the offenses I want in that game because both of those pitchers, can dice teams up in a big way. I did cite yesterday for everybody. Let me just get a quick tweet here. I did cite for everybody yesterday that our guy MLB Dream at FTN did the pitch counts of all the pitchers that were starting. I'm about this right now just to be like mindful of where we're going to go, because like Drew Rasmussen yesterday, he was mowing, he goes 5 innings, and then all of a sudden, you lose the quality start and you don't get the win because they get blown up or whatever. Yeah. So just be mindful of here. Mike Burrows, kind of like, he's still a young guy and we just don't have a big sample size on him. Framber Valdez is a quality start machine, but he had a late start to spring training there. Michael King getting up to 91, Gavin Williams getting up to 85. Those are very encouraging. Ryan Nelson, and then just getting into that bullpen where they have no lefties is going to be very advantageous for the Dodgers. Emmett Sheehan, like, people were just so stoked about him in every draft format all season long that they just wanted to get him. Why not just attack him night one when not a ton of people are going to Arizona? That top 3 of the Arizona order feels like a decent little contrarian stack, but ADP kind of has them priced in on their talent level. Sandy Alcantara, nice big totals. Reagan's big totals. Sale big totals. So that's very encouraging. Yusei Kikuchi, I'm probably thinking only 6 innings max if things go well for him today. So yeah, Nezzy, just looking at some of the pitch counts from spring there and their last outings to just kind of get a gauge for where we'll be going.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Yes, they are sim totals, Noah. They are not implied totals. Yes, correct. Sim totals from simming the slate. That's what we're rolling with. All right, Nez, kind of back to the original question. Oh, we got to hit on this before we go. Too good here. Our guy, the dirty hands, clean money, car park rolling through with 25 beans for the fellas. Mick Godigal. I love that. Yeah, that's awesome, bro. Happy for your Detroit Tigers for such a great opening day for a stud prospect.
Yeah. Wish I could say the same, but no, McGonigal, man, what a way to make your presence known. Jesus.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Both him, JJ Weatherholt with a really nice first game, Chase DeLardo with a really nice one. Man, the prospects were slapping last night. Nez, back to the question here. So chalk stacks on the slate right now, Dodgers, Blue Jays, and then kind of, choose your own adventure. A little bit of Seattle sprinkled in ADP wise, but maybe that's just name value. A little bit of Astros is sprinkled in ADP wise. Where kind of the spots you were gravitating toward?
So I was going to ask you right before I got kicked off, because you had mentioned contrarian stacks, and my question for you was like, how would you define contrarian stack?
Probably featuring anything that has a less than 100% ADP drafted piece. Okay. So like Arizona would be contrarian, because even though Corbin Carroll and Marte go, 85% of the time, you can mix in another piece that's cheaper than that. Or Dodgers can still be contrarian. If you told me your favorite contrarian stack was Andy Pages plus Will Smith or something.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, well, I think my top contrarian stack is Angels today.
Okay, cool. I respect that.
Yeah, just given their ADPs, man, they're just like a lot of fun to attack. They look like they're going to be well under 100% drafted today.
Mm-hmm.
Going up against Mike Burrows, who, might be good. I don't think we can definitively say how good he is or not, but, they went out and traded for him. He's probably good, but he might not be. But like, he's not being, the Angels are being drafted as though like he is good and he is a stud. And I just think, that the ownership, Angels look pretty good. Nice little park to hit in. Some small sample reverse splits there for Burrows. So maybe some good right-handed, power in that with the Crawford boxes there. I think the Angels are really fun to get to today.
Dude, love that call. Just talked about Burrows, how like he's only got 24 big league starts under his belt. Like jury's still out on this dude, right? Like he hasn't been able to fully put it together just yet. And when you're dealing with a whole bunch of aces on this slate and a whole bunch of like, upper echelon front of rotation guys, there's definitely some fragility in the archetypes of like him and Ryan Nelson and Kyle Freeland, etc.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah. Another contrarian stack. Miami, I think I've been getting to a decent amount.
Okay. Yeah. What stands out? Like who in particular stands out for you there? Like, are you like Augustin Ramirez and, maybe he gets some of that right-handed power, or who are you looking at?
Yeah. Like I strongly prefer Augustin Ramirez, but our guy Christopher Morel out here,
Mm-hmm.
Austin Slater out here, couple lefty killers. We just got the Marlins lineup. Speak of the devil.
I'll pull it up.
Classic Austin Slater leadoff.
Oh my god, I love it so much. And if
we're so back.
Oh, we're so back. Let's check this out. Christopher Morel hitting fifth. Austin Slater leading off. Oh my god, this is baseball at its finest. So for those who haven't been around a long time, both these guys, as Nez alluded to, lefty killers, where their splits are significantly better, especially in the power department versus left-handed pitching. So these will be contrarian, damn near completely unowned players. And, Austin Slater is one of these guys where like we joked about it because we used to always play him on the night slates for the Giants back in the day. But he was a guy where it was like, if he got a couple knocks in early and he got like, he took one over the fence or something, they would just leave him in and he would stay in even when they bring in, the righties in the bullpen there. And, Marlins aren't blessed with an abundance of depth off their bench.
No.
So, it does feel like a decent spot where he could stay in.
Yeah. I mean, let's see like who is Marcy in? Trying to think of like who could take his spot.
Yeah, Marcy's hitting third,
of course. Looks like Griffin Conine or Owen Casey, I guess.
Is Owen Casey in the lineup there?
No. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's definitely a risk of short ABs, but lead off, you're at least gonna get a couple.
Yeah, no, exactly right. Yeah, Owen Casey would be the left-handed stick off the bench there. Yeah, that would definitely be the one guy. Owen Casey on platoon watch right now. Also is Jack Caglione with the most presumed Royals lineup here. You don't get Jack Caglione in the opening day lineup, lefty versus Sale. So we're on platoon watch there. We joked about, hey man, can you draft Lane Thomas? Can you draft Starling Marte? Well, here we go. You get to the actual ball games and they're hitting third and they're hitting sixth for good lineups to start the season.
Yeah, very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. I think we could do like kind of a how low would you go with like draftable hitters on each team. And then we'll kind of do pitching and then we'll draft a couple and see what they look like.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's play how low would you go and full stacks or just skinnies. Let's start with Oakland here going up against Kevin Gausman.
Ooh, I'm always down to take a little Jacob Wilson.
Okay. Let me I'll bounce back and forth so that people can visualize better with ADP here. So first things first, full stack, skinny stack or fade?
I think skinny.
Okay.
Yeah. Kevin Gausman I have so much respect for as a pitcher. He had a really good year last year and I think he's a really good pitcher, so I don't think this is by any means a spot to target, but like you mentioned, the park played pretty well last year for lefty power especially, so kind of good for the platoon splits there. No projections are telling you to draft, a ton of A's here, but like, the lefties for the A's I think are pretty interesting. Kurtz, Soderstrom, Lawrence Butler, who I think people have kind of forgotten about as a ceiling guy because he didn't have a great year last year. So yeah, these lefties I think are pretty interesting. I'd probably skip Brent Rooker because he's like the second most popular guy. Probably skip Shea Langoliers, but the lefties and a low on Jacob Wilson, and not necessarily saying we have to draft Jeff McNeil, but don't sleep on old Jeff McNeil for a wraparound stack. as a lefty there who can hit, man. Professional hitter for sure.
Yeah, there's no reason to think Jeff McNeil couldn't be one of the guys that's like, whoa, surprise on opening day that he's hitting sixth. Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa.
yeah, 2 extra base hits. You're just like, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, no, dude, I like it. How low would you go? I'll probably stop at Jacob Wilson, but if you get some Jeff McNeil in some stacks, I'm good with full stacks from Oakland here. I'm a Kevin Gausman respector, but I just think there's enough pop in this lineup, especially of the left-handed variety there, that like, yeah, Lawrence Butler stands out as like the best contrarian scroll to me. Toronto, let's save ourselves the time. I think we're both going to say full stacks are viable here. Man, maybe we'll get it in the pick'em lobby, because I kind of want to get some Jesus Sanchez exposure in my life today.
Oh, yeah.
I do think he could hit like 6th or 7th in that lineup. Left-handed power play, like pretty decent here against Luis Severino, despite his recent lookings goods at the World Baseball Classic there. But how low would you go here?
I think probably Kirk. Like, you know, I'm not going to say with confidence that I think Jimenez is worth drafting or Ernie Clement, but
sure.
Yeah, I'd probably say Alejandro Kirk.
Okay, cool. Agree with you there. Is there anyone here that really stands out to you that like, hey, that could be a pick to click guy?
Our guy Barger, dude.
Yeah, I agree with
Love
you.
Barger. I mean, I'm drafting some Barshow too. Like, I guess I was drafting a lot of them. I didn't really notice. But I have a lot of Barshow. While he's healthy, he's got some pop. Let's play Barshow, but it's Barger for me. Barger, I love.
Cool. I respect it. Last night's champ telling us that he's drafting both Max Muncies today.
Wow.
Yeah, and not saying Shea Bangoliers is definitely a fine. Nez.
I can't call him Bangoliers and say that I'm not drafting him. That's
yeah.
That's confusing.
Hottest dude on planet Earth right now. By the way, he had like 7 nukes in spring.
Oh man. Gotta draft the hot guy in spring.
Dylan has a question here. He goes, what do you guys use for MLB projections? I asked the other day just about the timing of it for Adam with the Run the Sims stuff. I haven't signed up yet, but I'm going to sign up and I'm going to like track them. I do a lot of my own stuff for MLB, which is, you know, just something that I enjoy doing. I use Easy stuff when he provides it. I use the BATX as kind of like the gold standard from Cardi. And then we use the Ballpark Pal there. Ballpark Pal for like barrier to entry and low price point. And now that they're in tandem with Unabated is like really good value in my estimation. And then I would say the BATX. And then I'm going to test out the Run the Sims stuff, but I do trust, you know, Adam's been very good at baseball for a long time. So I do think that's probably worth your time and money as well. But as we said yesterday, man, projections are very baseline. Like projections are kind of like the be all end all for 4 months of NBA season. And then you kind of get into the do I know ball window. Baseball is way more fluid all season long, where it's like you're going to play dudes who project for 6 and dudes that project for 10. And, you know, the scores are going to be 27, 28, or 0, right? So it's like, it's very binary. It's projections mean a little bit less, but they give you a good baseline of understanding, especially for pitching.
Yeah. Very well said.
Yeah. Anger's classic, dude. Yeah. Jon, a projection, bro. Hate to see it. Exactly. Yeah. I can't. Blake's right. But I do just like supporting the industry and seeing what other people have to offer and stuff. Next game up, dude, Rockies and Marlins there. We get Kyle Freeland on one side, Sandy Alcantara on the other side there. You said you kind of liked Marlins in general, but we'll start with the Rockies side there. Rockies, fulls or skinnies or fade?
I think full.
Okay.
Yeah. Mickey Moniak IL is a bummer. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think playing this team full is interesting just because Sandy did look better last year, but I'd be interested in, you know, kind of taking some shots against him and see what happens here. Miami by park factor wasn't as bad as I think people think.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, it was like better than average. So something to take into account there to like not double count the the run environment there. But yeah, I think full, man. I'm like team Rockies are like actually underrated right now. So I think I'd take some shots on some Rocky stacks in case, they end up being the guys you need.
Right there with you, man. I do think it cleans things up a little bit there with the IL stuff. So Jake McCarthy might be in as low as I go kind of guy. Troy Johnston's going to start at first base. He's left-handed. He's going to play in the middle. Like Eduardo Julian, like people forget, like he was a pretty big stud early on in his career there with the Twins and had some big time stuff. He's going to play, probably first or second base today. Yeah, probably second base today, just thinking it through. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I could get deep into the Rockies today. It's never comfortable. They're not at Coors, but like getting into the Rockies today could be something. But I think the chalk answer is play Sandy and skinny stacks only on the other side. But yeah, I don't know, man. There's pop here. Like Jordan Beck's a 20 homer guy. Doyle's a 20 homer guy. Tovar's a 20 homer guy. Goodman's a 20 homer guy. And then you got speed leading off in McCarthy and Willie Castro. Like this is kind of like a sneaky fun lineup that nobody wants to play.
Exactly. Like and Hunter Goodman too is like kind of the power bat there, like the biggest power bat of all there. And yeah, big fan of that. So I'm doing some 3s and 4s here.
Leave the light on here for this one, man.
No doubt.
Little wrap around Julian stack. I think Julian can still play.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see when that lineup comes out officially.
We just got that Miami one. You talked about as low as you would go, some of that Austin Slater stuff. Do you like full stacks here going up against Kyle Freeland?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, even though it's gross.
Jared Carabas matching tattoos with Kyle Freeland. People forget. Great story on our program.
Once upon a time. Yeah, that was pretty funny because like I didn't realize that they were like such close friends.
Yeah.
And like I immediately opened up when he was on with like a comment about how bad Kyle Freeland was. Like huge awkward turtle there. But he handled it with grace. He handled it pretty well.
Hey, people forget we told him who Mason Miller was.
Fucking did, dude.
We did. We go back and
they made his whole brand after whatever. Yeah. So yeah, Miami, man. The lowest I would go, I guess. Otto Lopez. It's nice that Xavier Edwards isn't leading off. Like that's a blessing. That way I don't even have to pretend that I should draft that guy.
Yeah. Just a really hard archetype of player to get behind in our scoring format. Like, yeah, he could steal 50 bags this year or whatever, but it's like it's Chandler Simpson-esque kind of thing.
Yeah. But yeah, Marcy's, the like Marcy, Augustine, and Morel are like my favorite 3 there, but I'm mixing in some Slater. I have been. Cool.
And Herberto Hernandez. He's lefty killer, by the way. A little bit.
Is he?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'll have to throw him in there then.
Had some decent splits down the tail end of last year. Connor Norby, once upon a time, a really good prospect there. I did not see where he was in the lineup today, but he could just be someone who emerges. He's hitting right behind Morel at the DH spot, so he'll stay in for the entirety of the game, and he's hitting 6. So, yeah, man, leave the light on for a Connor Norby scroll today. Let's move on. Royals here and Braves. This is the battle of the aces. Reagans versus Sale, double lefties here. Yeah, skinnies or fulls in this one, Nez?
I'm going skinnies.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Done a decent amount of skinnies here but primarily just Bobby plus Mikkel. I will definitely mix in a Lane Thomas or 2 now that we know he's hitting up in the order like that, but that's probably where I'll draw the line today.
Yeah, I think so too. Just a really tough matchup against Sale, dude. Sale's so good.
Dude, Sale gave up. Guess how many home runs Chris Sale gave up last year?
I mean, I would have no idea.
Well, he did. Let's say I don't know how many starts it was. Let's say he started 25 games last year. He pitched 180 innings. How many home runs would be like a reasonable number to give up?
I'll say 10.
He gave up 11 home runs.
Wow.
Yeah. Like we're looking in a format here where home runs are 14 points plus the RBIs, where like you need 25 points from, not every day, but you need 25 points in a vacuum to like win a slate from. Maybe you need 18 points. Let's say if we used like the mean of what you need, like it's really hard to come by for like multiple guys going up against Chris Sale.
Yeah, he's just the best pitcher on the slate, man. It's not fun, and it's not even that contrarian. Like nobody's falling over themselves to draft Royals today, but they're gonna be decently represented. So you don't even get the double bubble isn't quite as strong.
They're naturally decently represented because Bobby Witt rises everyone. It's kind of like Arizona, where it's like they'll always be represented, even lefty because Carroll's in the lineup.
Yeah. Yep. They're almost like, dare I say, the Braves are more represented than them, but the Braves aren't very well represented today. In ADP.
No, they aren't. So do you like getting to them? Like if you had to pick a side of this game, you probably like the Atlanta side more than the KC side.
Oh,
right?
Definitely.
Whom would you like to get to here?
I was, like looking at the righties, looking at the righties, but Cole Reagan's on his first career is like more like neutral / reverse. So made me get to a little bit more Matt Olson, a little bit more Michael Harris, because I don't think many people are like actively seeking out those lefties in these builds against Cole Reagan's today. So the lowest that I've gone is Michael Harris.
Okay. Sounds good, dude. I don't imagine we see, it's opening day. They probably want the NL Rookie of the Year in there. But if we saw this game in the middle of June, I wouldn't be shocked if they had Jonah Heim in there instead of Drake Baldwin, lefty, or if they had like, instead of Mikey Yastrzemski in there, they had like Eli White in there today. Like they got Dominic Smith as like a DH guy to like on the roster. Like they're way better off with Kyle Farmer, who's like a little bit of a lefty killer today, but it'll be interesting to see what they do. Bottom of this order is like low key weak with some strikeouts available. Like you have maybe something like Yastrzemski. I mean, I would probably have it like Farmer, Eli White, Dubon, and Jonah Heim or something like that. And like there's big time strikeouts for Reagan's available there. So it's probably just like stopping at Austin Riley for me.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
All right, dude, let's keep moving here with the rapid fire game that is not so rapid fire. Angels and Astros up here. We kind of had the Mike Burrow discussion there. Angels have Yusei Kikuchi on the mound. Totally fine to play Yordan lefty. You really liked the Angels, so I imagine you're going to say full on the Angel stacks.
I am.
And how far are we going to go with them?
Literally to the bottom of the order. Like this is a pretty deep lineup. Like I'm avoiding Sean Well mostly, but little Moncada, little low, little Ohapi. Mix that in with a wraparound with Neto and Trout. Pretty fun.
Love it.
Yeah,
man. Shanwell homered yesterday there. He gets the handedness advantage today. I like where your Brian's at with all of this. I did a Jan Moncada this morning there. Jan Moncada, hashtag popping in the ballpark, home run most likely's model. Just checking this one out here. Kurtz, Springers, Raleigh, and what is this? Jan Moncada all the way up there.
Wow.
So ballpark pal projections agreeing with you there, my friend.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. We got some good stuff. Give me some Austin Riley in my life. He was also a big spring winner there. Our guy Tope's saying, I don't need a tinfoil hat. I see what hat Nez is wearing. That's good shit there. Shout out to Respook there, man. Had some success in the streets early and now just bought his dream car.
Oh, shit.
Fuck yeah, bro. Unbelievable. Love that.
That's just the Bash Bros effect right there, I think.
It's buzzing, dude. And we got the Riley double dong call here. When I first read it, I realized we're talking about Austin Riley, but I was also like, maybe a little Riley Green double dong. Who knows, right?
Oh man, now you're really dreaming.
Yeah. We are going to talk about basketball in a second. Matt Murphy, I saw a couple questions in the chat about Luka and about, should you play, Tatum tonight and that sort of stuff. We'll talk a little hoops in a minute here. Let's talk about the Houston side here, dude. I don't love targeting Yusei Kikuchi like just in a vacuum, but we know he can be kind of polarizing, right? Like he can be like, oh, all of a sudden we get damn near 10 Ks from a Kikuchi performance, or he walks a couple, leaves the ball up, and he only throws like 70 innings today because he's not fully stretched out. Plus, once upon a time was traded for at the deadline by the Astros. Maybe Loki got the book on him. Man, I was getting to a little bit of Sock plus Christian Walker here.
Oh yeah, you it's like you read my mind.
Love it.
Love those righties. All the way down to Correa. I've done.
Cool. I like it.
And Yainer. Yeah, I forgot about Yainer.
Yainer's got some big time pop. Cam Smith, when it all comes together, has some big time pop. Altuve will be hitting near the top. It doesn't sound like Jeremy Pena is going to be available today, but leave the light on kind of thing. He was like doing something with like backfield sim games and like whatever, like playing with like the minor league guys, like just to like keep up. It sounds like he's still like a couple days away, but they're not going to do like the IL thing.
Yeah, so that's one to monitor. I just haven't been drafting him right now. So
yeah.
But yeah, this team is sick at home against lefties. So I know it's Kikuchi. So like you said, there's a chance this goes wrong. But yeah, I like the spot.
Cool. Sounds good. Next one up is Padres. Traditionally speaking, not a great place to hit. The Tigers took care of business against Nick Pivetta there, scored a bunch of runs in the first inning. Shout out to Kyle McGod. What McGodigal? Is that what it was? That what Carpark called him?
Yep.
McGodigal. There we go. I got to get that right. Love to see that. Yeah. So we got Tigers here. Skinnies, fulls, or fades today going up against Michael King.
I would say skinnies. I think.
Sure.
I'm a Michael King respecter.
Yeah. I like where you're at there. Sorry, I'm going to jump back to the site in 1 second. I just want to see the box scores from yesterday because we've talked about this in the past here about how if the Tigers perform well, that then they don't pinch hit for guys. But if they do, if they're not performing well, then they get the pinch hit in. So they were up like 8-1 early. And I just want to see if Kerry Carpenter got all his ABs or not.
He went
0 for 5 and they kept him in there. Kerry Carpenter leading off against a righty there yesterday. So, yeah. Okay.
Cool. Yeah. I think people are a little burned by the Kerry performance yesterday. But even still, I am a Michael King respecter. But definitely, mixing it in.
Cool. Yeah, I'm good with this as like kind of a contrarian stack. But I kind of think I like playing Michael King more than playing Detroit today.
Sure. Yeah, he's pretty underrepresented as far as pitching goes, and he has a pretty high ceiling.
Yeah. We'll get to pitching, but I think Frommer, like we love him. Like we love Frommer as like a quality start machine, as a guy who has a little bit of ceiling, has whatever. This is not the Frommer matchup for me. One of the lowest strikeout rate teams in all of baseball, loaded with righties that kill lefties. Like this could just be a little bit worse version of the Skubal stuff from yesterday. And we don't know how stretch out Frommer will be because he was a late signee. I brought up that model earlier from MLB Dream at FTN. It had Frommer got up to 77. So maybe I'm a little too dismissive just yet, but I think my favorite spot in this entire game is playing Michael King at ever so slightly discounted ownership.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm kind of hesitant on the Valdez stuff. Like it feels like something that you want to do because they're in San Diego, but yeah, the matchup isn't great with all those righties, like you said. So I'm trying not to just like wait on pitcher and take Valdez every time. I'm trying to mix it up. Cool.
Yeah, respect that. San Diego side, skinnies, fulls, or fades?
I think just skinnies here.
Yeah. Machado's a lefty killer. He can get anybody with the best of them. Tatis, you can play Tatis versus anyone. But they'll always be like the archetype of dudes who are like overdrafted because they're name value, good players, good projecting players. Whereas you can get contrarian with some other kind of like scrolls, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I'd play any of the lefties here.
No, I just don't think I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze at all.
Yeah. Ramon Laureano homered yesterday, and like he's got some pop, obviously, versus lefties. But I don't know, man. You play these games at home in San Diego a little bit later in the evening than yesterday and like this time of year, and like the ball just doesn't travel. So we'll see if that changes this year. But like it's just, yeah, I don't know. Lefty in that park like just doesn't feel fun. Oh, sorry, I didn't do that. All right. Last two games here. Guardians and Mariners there. We get Gavin Williams on one side. We get George Kirby on the other side. Lowest unabated total on the slate here. Obviously, in Seattle is renowned for pitching. But yeah, there's a bunch of Seattle Mariners bats that are going quite high. So start on the Seattle side here. Fulls, skinnies, or fades?
I would say full.
Oh, I like this. Okay, cool. All right, so you're going to go where no one's daring to go. And which of these bats do you kind of like today?
Yeah, I mean, this is just a really, really solid lineup. Raleigh and Julio, I think, are like pretty easy staples to kind of tack two more players onto. So, I've been doing a lot of Donovan Canzone, little Naylor Canzone, throwing Canzone in quite a bit because, he piqued my interest in the offseason. So I want to keep riding that wave. He's not like getting a huge increase, even though we just had a like 2 home run night. So that's nice. It's not like he's being drafted over Randy right now. So I think kind of playing it like that, maybe mixing in some Cal Randy Canzone with one of those guys. So kind of mixing and matching here, even though, not the best place to hit and really the worst place to hit. And Gavin Williams on the mound. Sorry, decent pitcher, but this is such a good lineup, man, that I think you just got to like say screw it sometimes.
Cool. Something we haven't talked about yet this season, and it's just because it hasn't been as relevant with the aces going and this sort of thing, is like the propensity of like good bullpens behind these teams. We'll start talking about that as we get kind of like deeper into some shorter game slates and throw some contextual stuff to there, because like Cleveland, traditionally speaking, has been like a really good bullpen to like be behind there. But like, obviously we're missing 2 of their best arms now, right? With the gambling suspension stuff there. So, like no Emmanuel Clase, like, does that change our perception of Cleveland going forward? Or is Cleveland still like a really good bullpen? And, a portion of my mind thinks they're still a really good bullpen, and this isn't to discredit your point at all, because I agree with you. I do want to get here, but it's just something we're going to talk about in the future, and Cleveland brought it top of mind there. Cleveland, one of Cardi's least favorite stacks in his stack rankings today. Can we get to Cleveland at all today?
I still think you can.
Yep.
Yeah, like Kirby's good, but I would still get some skinnies here. This team is just loaded with lefties that you can play. So you don't have to do Kwan, but if you want to do the full thing, you go Jose, DeLauder, Kwan, and Manzardo, and just see what happens. But I like the lefties here, man. They're these guys can hit. Saw them get home yesterday. I get with Gilbert on the mound. So yeah, I think it's worth trying it again here. I mean, they're barely getting drafted, so just throw a couple shares in their portfolio.
Yeah, Chase DeLauder will be the number one tacked on guy just because of the recent performance and because of the pedigree and stuff like that, and because of the positional eligibility. So I would kind of tip my cap at people who went to the Manzardo well after last night, and you go, hey, just do Manzardo plus Jose Ramirez instead of doing it Chase plus Jose instead. Like, just switch it up a little bit. Not that one's bad or whatever, but I do not mind skinny stacks here. George Kirby walks nobody. Like, he literally just all the balls in the zone all the time, and he works top to bottom. Well, man, like lefty getting out ahead and turning on something from fastball up like, fastball down's usually happy zone for left-handed hitter, especially in Seattle in that ballpark. But like if Kirby misses, like Kyle Manzardo could take him deep, like easy today. So I kind of really like a Manzardo, Jose Ramirez, contrarian skinny where Manzardo's like less than 10% owned.
Yeah. I love Manzardo today.
Cool. A little BVP data for the people that believe. John's got the BVP data for us there. Manzardo 3 for 6 with a double and a home run versus Kirby in his career. Okay. Wiz K, our resident Cleveland stan here, who is complaining on the internets about their opening schedule, sounding much like Steve Kerr and the Warriors. They're complaining about the West Coast swing to open the season. I think me thinks you'd like Cleveland playing on the West Coast to start the year a hell of a lot more for their statistical outlooks than playing at home to start. I think that's just kind of like a weather thing, so we don't get the snowball games of years past in Detroit and in Cleveland.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Yeah, the old snow globe games. All right, last one up here, dude. Dodgers chalk of the day going up against Ryan Nelson. And then you got everyone's favorite, worst kept secret in all of fantasy baseball, Emmett Sheehan pitching on the other side there. So, I will save you the breath, Nez, and say Dodgers are a full stacker. But what bat kind of stands out to you from Dodgers that you'd be like, oh, okay, that's a little underpriced, or that's a one I want to tack on a little bit more?
I think it would be Muncy.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, just playing Muncy and maybe even just like throwing Will Smith in there since he's sitting in front. But Muncy and Pages, I really like. Get some wraparound potential there, at least with Pages if you're starting off with Ohtani or Tucker. But I really like doing Muncy or Pages there, or doing like all right or left-handed bats as opposed to mixing them. Like maybe for whatever reason it's a righty night, but most likely it's probably going to be an all lefty night because D-backs have no left-handed bats in their bullpen.
Yeah, no left-handed arms in their bullpen there, so not going to be able to switch around anybody or find any pinch hit risk there. Ryan Nelson, little bit reverse splitsy. Sample's pretty decent with him too, that the righties have fared okay against him in the power department there. So power department for righties actually kind of nice. So I did a Teo plus Will Smith plus Andy Pages and just left off like Ohtani, Tucker, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I think in a vacuum, Ohtani, Freeman, Betts is going to be an over-owned three-man today in a big way. Just because
100%.
Yeah, it lines up so perfectly. Not to say it's bad. It's just going to be like repeated at such a high frequency that like, hey, you just knock off kind of like the Skeens thing from yesterday. You knock off like a sixth of the field if those guys just go like 1 for 12 combined.
One of those guys. Yeah. Even just one, So I fully agree that I think it's a max 2 of Ohtani, Betts, or Freeman. Like I truly don't think stacking all 3 of those guys is worth the ownership. Like just play a different Dodger.
Love it. Let's talk about the Arizona side there. Perdomo goes yard last night there. Just resurgence tour of looking amazing over the last calendar year. We talked about all 3 of these hitters at the top of the lineup, all being in the top 12 in WRC plus last season when the season concluded. All 3 of them were in the top 12 there. You can play them against anybody. I love playing them on the nights that they're underrepresented. I love making Emmett Sheehan prove it because we've all, named him our king thus far. So I am like, hey, prove it to me. And like, dude, they got some professional ass hitters that, maybe backside of their career guys or whatever, but like professional ass ABs at the bottom of that lineup that we saw. Pavin Smith was a late scratch yesterday, so we'll see if he draws in there. But Jordan Lawler had a nice double last night after a really good at bat, and then also saw, Nolan Arenado and Carlos Santana are going to be in there every single day for their gloves, and they just give you grown ass man at bats, right? So definitely a better lineup than we've given credence to in the past.
Yeah, 100%. It's hard to get more than like a 3-man stack on this team because of the lineup, but Yeah, I think you can try to squeeze in a fourth there with like you said, like Moreno or Arenado or something with the infield. But I've been doing the Carroll, Marte, Perdomo trio a good bit.
Yeah.
I don't know how owned it's going to be just because it's like really easy to do, but I've been hitting that a good amount, man. That's a really, really nice trio.
Yeah. And even last night, like Yamamoto's so tough, but like if you saw the first at bat of the ball game, and like we know how Yamamoto's like a top 5 pitcher in this league, and like man, Ketel Marte has very good professional ass at bats. You know, like he swings out of his shoes at like a splitter on the first pitch, whiffs over it, he shakes his head, calls timeout. He's like, all right, that was my like one swing for the fences at the very first swing of the season to see if I got a fastball and rip one out to like start it with a bang. And then he works like a 3-2 count and then foul shit off. It's like a 9 or 10 pitch at bat and winds up striking out. But it's just like, man, like real now that we're back into baseball season and you're watching this, like the quality of at bats that certain guys give you relative to their ADPs on a night to night basis is just like, I don't really care who they're facing. Like these guys are professional ass hitters, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Like that's the absolute mold for Ketel Marte.
Yeah. We had some lineups drop as things were happening here. So we'll take a look at those real quick and then we'll jump in the streets. In doing so here. Yeah. No Bo Sox saying he hasn't seen the Gatorade sippy bottle in years.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Your boy hit a cheeky 7-Eleven run on the way home from hockey last night. 2 bags of Doritos, two Gatos.
Wow.
Yeah.
Doritos. Let's go.
Yeah, so I was just feeling a little peckish after skating around for an hour.
Understandable.
Back to the Keith Hernandez well here today. Love to see it. And yes, I see the comments in the chat about what's going on with the lineups. We'll look here as I say GM to my friend Bound in the chat. Okay, let's jump over to the tweet machine and hop in a draft kind of like all at once. So first things first. Make sure I didn't save that. Anyways, whatever. We end up with Arizona. It's all good. Boom, snap. And then we're going to check out some of these lineups, give it a refresh here on the MLB page. And Blue Jays lineup is out. Barger hitting 4th. Varsho's hitting 6th. So that makes that Varger ADP look more palatable, even though the positional designation isn't necessarily in our favor. But Nathan Lucas, man, Lucas being in there in the 2-hole, that's pretty nice. Athletics with Nick Paws, aka Nick Kurtz, leading off there. Soderstrom hitting in front of Rooker. Good to see Lawrence Butler in there as well. Jeff McNeil is a wraparound stack guy. Good Canadian kid. Denzel Clark playing in Canada for opening day. Okay, I've seen worse narratives in my career. Nice to see Drake Baldwin stay in there, lefty with the DH spot at the top. And do I know ball or do I know ball? Eli White, Dubon, Jonah Heim, all at the bottom, and then Barry, Michael Harris. This is why you guys watch the program.
Nice little wraparound opportunity there with Michael Harris.
Ooh, cheeky. Lefty Michael Harris who pounds it into the ground. I think I'll probably take him out, but I got you. Right. I got you. The beautiful thing about baseball is it's like we gal brain some plays in NBA, but like we're just not the game for it. You know, like it's so projection laden that like, you know, this time of year is better than at the start of the year to gal brain some of these like, hey man, this guy's projected for 16 minutes, but he's going to play 40 like Juju Reese the other night. But in baseball, it's truly like, yo, you can fucking play anybody, dude. You can play anybody. As long as he's getting 4 ABs, you can play him.
Doesn't matter who's on the slate. You can play anybody.
Nez, what do you say we get a little funky, push some things around, get weird with it, and take Yordan in the first round?
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, just little like micro edge things. You guys will see it as we continue to draft on the program and stuff. Just flipping some ADPs around, not falling into the same patterns as other people. Because even if you look at Easy's winner last night, like nobody would have, or maybe it was one of the person's winners from last night, but it was like they effectively didn't have a first rounder in their picks. You know, I can't remember who it was, but it was because of the swap. You know,
yeah.
And it was the basketball last night where they didn't have a 4th rounder effectively because you take 2 6th-rounders, right? DeMar DeRozan and Con Knippel had to be in your lineup. And the only way in which they got there was swapping into DeMar DeRozan or swapping into Con, right? But if you're just thinking ahead and being like, hey, man, these guys are going to project and nobody's putting the 2 of them together, like easy path to first. So if I just fade, a Dodger guy in the first round here and we take ADP 12 in the first round, and now we tack on some 30 pluses, it's like, well, nobody's doing this,
Mm-hmm.
Do you like Cole Ragans enough to take him here? Should we take Bobby Witt instead? Should we keep going with the Astros stuff?
Let's do Astro stuff.
All right. Isak?
Yeah.
All right. Do Isak here. And then maybe we'll run a skinny stack there, and then we'll find another contrarian 3-man and a scroll pitcher to put with it.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's more fun.
Eyes on Fences is doing the Colorado thing, so we're probably not going to get Colorado stuff here because he's a renowned super stacker. So he's going to do Sale and then do, all of the Colorado pieces here.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the first super stack slate of the year. Almost had one yesterday.
Yeah, Brewer stuff was super stackable yesterday.
Yeah.
There's that Freeman. Easy's doing the Freeman plus Ohtani, but he adds Carroll to it as well. Trying to think of some other sticks that could go with this. If Varsho comes here, we could do like, I don't want to do Toronto. Everybody's going to do Toronto, but I was saying we could do like the contrarian Toronto of like Lucas, Lucas plus Addison plus Varsho.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of fun.
All right, let's do it. Kobe Goat might, steal some of it from us on the end there because he's got the Springer piece, but we shall see. Maybe
he's going to go Atlanta. He's going to go Atlanta. I can feel it.
Frog says Carlos Correa is the guy that we want to add to this. You like Correa or Walker more today?
Correa, because he's lower owned.
Okay. Oh my God, this is a great point in the chat. Just realized today's the first time we get the classic Barger and Fries pick 'em. Oh baby,
Is Fry going to play?
Allegedly, potentially. Is he in a lineup yet?
Where is he now?
He's still in Cleveland.
Well, I don't think he's going to see the lineup today, sadly.
Ready?
Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah. Matt Olson goes, Barger goes, so we run out of that one. Colorado onslaught incoming, as we alluded to. We could pivot our plan a little bit, but we probably want another Toronto.
Yeah, you just want to do Lucas at least?
Yeah, to make it make sense, we should do Nathan Lucas here. And then we can either do a one-off, or we can do the Carlos Correa, or we can do something else.
I think Correa is a fun low-owned piece to tack on there, but if you got a one-off in mind, man, fire away. Don't be shy.
No, I think Correa would be a nice fit here, or we could do Alejandro Kirk and just not take the handedness advantage. But Kirk's like a dude I never really get to because he doesn't run. It's like, yeah, he controls the zone really nice and he hits 290, but like he's like an 80 runs, 100 RBI ceiling kind of guy with like 15 homers and no steals. And it's just kind of like, if Kirk beats you with 2 home runs on one slate this year, so be it.
Yeah, and I would be shocked.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. We got the calzones and Bargers.
Okay. Now we're talking.
Like what No Bo Sox is doing there. He's going with the Oakland 3-man of the lefties there. That's going to be a little bit underrepresented. I think we should probably take starting pitcher here just so we get our choice over Kobe.
Okay.
Gosman fits the narrative. Kirby, or we could scroll to Michael King.
Let's do King. Let's do Michael King.
I like it.
I've been doing a lot of Kirby today, but I like Michael King.
Seattle pitchers at home just always feel warm and fuzzy, It's like, he's not going to sink my lineup. He doesn't walk guys. Like, even if he gets knocked around for 3 or 4 runs, he's probably still going to go like 80 pitches and be kind of like fine.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know, man. Guardians lineup probably on the whole isn't great either, so you get that advantage too.
Yeah. There's the leadoff Jake McCarthy. Did we get that lineup yet? Presumed leadoff Jake McCarthy.
We did, yeah. They've got some dude I've never heard of playing first base.
Was it the Johnston guy?
No. Forget his name.
Rumfield.
25-year-old, yes.
Yeah.
From the Yankees system.
The Yankees system. All right. Okay, let's make this pick. But I just saw the chat. This is great. Okay. Yeah, Carlos Correa would fit. It's what the chat wants. Is it what you want, Nez?
It is.
All right, let's do it. Carlos Correa there. That's how you build a team with all the ADPs outside of 30 whatever. SP 7 plus 3 Houston guys plus 2 contrarian or 1 contrarian Toronto. But they're, decently stacked because they're going to be hitting 3rd and 5th in the lineup. Love what the No Bo Sox did there. Exactly what we said on the program. That 3-man athletics, and then that 2-man with Manzardo. That was a very intelligently built team there. Easy goes for the 4-man stack with Carroll as the one-off, and then puts Miguel Rojas in there. Not sure that Rojas will be in the lineup today. I think they gave him like a little hat tip yesterday to be like, hey, this is why you're in the lineup, like whatever. And they were talking about it on the broadcast too with Clayton Kershaw was on the broadcast last night for that game for NBC. And they're like, yeah, Rojas is kind of like he's announced it's his last year. He's a pseudo kind of like coach dynamic guy. I think it's Kike Hernandez's music today.
I didn't realize that that is his last year and stuff. So that's cool that they did that for the opening day for him.
This is a beautiful question in the chat. Caleb Daniels dropping $10 off at the door. Much love, my friend. Was Corey Joseph a bust?
This is for you, clearly.
I mean, good Canadian
right.
point god Corey Joseph, who can command the offense, who can distribute with the best of them, who can knock a shot or two. I'm not calling my boy a bust. He had some nice international showings before it was cool to play for Team Canada. Like, nobody wanted to play for Team Canada back in the day. And he was the guy that like, no, I'll play for my country. Let's go. And dude, anytime someone plays 15 years in the league, I don't know if I'm doing it top of mind, but he probably played at least 12 years in the league and had some international success. I can't call a guy like that a bust, but like, was he just a full-fledged like 7th, 8th, 9th man role player who was just like a point guard, command the floor guy? Absolutely. But I'm not calling him a bust. That's a very good professional career.
Was he even like drafted high enough to be considered a bust?
I think he was a 1st-round guy with the Spurs.
Okay.
But I don't know if he wasn't like Lotto or anything like that. It was
okay.
like, I mean, like his career's like comparable to like Danny Green,
Is it?
Well,
I feel like Danny Green was like a coveted piece for a lot of teams as a role player.
No. Like I mean it in terms of like those two were like, they were both like fringe 1st-round picks. Like they were similar teams, similar arcs, but like Danny Green had like the better of the two of their careers, like because he was all defensive kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get a ring and bring it home like I'm Corey Joe Drake. Beautiful. Beautiful.
That's awesome. That's a good line.
easy doing the swap game, eh? Just showing off. All right, Nez. I think that's probably enough baseball for us. Maybe we could do a home run pick 'em or two here. If there's any prices that we like, you can see I was already looking up ESOC and fucking knew me scared, boy. Oh, there we go. Only a 238. I don't know. I'm going to put home runs in just for 1 second here, and we can take a little look, and then we will do kind of a rapid fire version of our baseball.
Let's see. Lawrence Butler's interesting. 3-4.
3-4 for Lawrence Butler. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Barger at 2-5. Ernie Clement. Freeland second base instead of Kike. Okay, I respect that. Yeah. Wow, Project Mayhem played high school ball with Danny Green. Small world. That's sweet.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Freeland did stay on the roster, so Freeland's probably playing baseball today. That's a good shout. I didn't really think when I commented. Let me who else would be in that Dodgers lineup today? Yeah, probably just Freeland. I mean, they could do Will Rush for not Will Rush. That's the guy who won the slate. The other catcher, rushing or whatever. They want to do the handedness. Yeah, but not today. Dude, I got it. Jan Mancada.
All right.
Dude, 40Xer. Can we add the 40% boost? Yes, we can. There you go. Max 50 gets you 2,800. All right. Lawrence Butler, Jan Mancada. Those are your super duper deep scroll home run calls with relatively good pricing. Be responsible with your units. These are moon shooters. Tovar, that's a good one too. I don't mind Tovar at all.
Yeah, what's his?
4. Oh, good shout. Dude, I don't mind Tovar at all.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. Let's do Addison Barger and Tovar together.
Okay.
There we go. Those are two good baseball players. Oh,
yeah, that's fun.
I already used my promo. Let's see. Does this one work? Have to do 3. Dang it. All right. No promo for me this time. All right. Pick your poison. Addison Barger, Ezekiel Tovar, and the first one was Lawrence Butler and Jan Mancada. Eli White might get lifted for a pinch hitter, and he's not a huge power guy. The handedness advantage I get. Mm-hmm. But Eli White was actually a fake out reverse splits guy a year ago too, where it was they played him against lefties, but then he actually didn't perform that well against lefties. And they're just small sample size, hope he bounces back.
Yeah, I'm never looking for Eli White, but
right. But on the other hand, leadoff hitter Austin Slater getting a 3.56. If that's not enough incentive to draft him today, I don't know what is. All right, Nez, let's talk about the hoops, man. I did about 15 of them this morning. I ripped up some ranks. We got some really interesting spreads and macros to the slate. I will walk it through for everybody. There were only 3 games yesterday, and the only team on the back end back-to-back are the Pelicans, and they already ruled out Trey Murphy and DeJounte Murray. Actually, I think DeJounte Murray still has a D tag, but
he's out now.
He's out now? Okay, cool. Yeah, so we have basically one team on the back end, or exactly one team on the back end back-to-back. And then the front end back-to-back is Chicago and Memphis, who play each other tomorrow. And Chicago is really, really thin at the 5, just in general. Jalen Smith, a.k.a. Sticks, put on the year-end IR, whatever there. Utah is on the front end back-to-back, who play a really rested Phoenix team tomorrow. And then Atlanta is on the back end back-to-back tomorrow, with the Sacramento Kings coming to town. So 4 teams on the back end, 1 team on the front end, a monster Q tag lingering at the front here with Luka Doncic as the Lakers are amidst their long road trip here. And then we also got some crazy football style spreads here where the Nuggets, aka Jokic in the 101 there, are 19.5-point favorites on the Unabated. We get the Rockets as 14-point road favorites. We get the Thunder as 18.5-point favorites at home this evening against the Bulls. There's a whole bunch of funky stuff going on a macro here. So where have your eyes been going and stuff on the slate?
Yeah, I mean, I'm playing Luka at 3. I in my heart of hearts, I don't think he plays, but you know, I did a little bit of Jalen Johnson over him, but now I'm mostly just taking Luka 3. I just, it's just a risk that I think that you got to take when you're playing today. So I hate it. I hate that we have to deal with it, but yeah, taking him 3. Huge, flat tier of projection after Kawhi, basically.
Okay.
You could probably say Tatum is in that Kawhi and Şengün tier, and just Şengün even in the tier. Who knows?
Really nice matchup for him today, obviously.
It is.
But they're huge favorites.
Yeah. Scotty, like evergreen, like my least favorite here.
Sure.
IQ out again, so you do get potentially some points, Scotty, but I'm just like evergreen, always light Scotty. Jamal, man, bounced back, had himself a great game, but that spread really, really concerns me. And I think it's sort of priced in too with blowout run here. So I am a little worried with Jamal. Like I'd rather play the Cleveland guys, like for sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, really good macros there, Nez. Agree with almost everything he said there. Obviously, playing into the Jason Tatum bring up in that tier is the notion that we're going to have no JB tonight. Jaylen Brown has already been ruled out. Also, Keita and Vooch are out in that one. So Celtics are kind of thin in the front court. They signed Charles Bassey there. Also, where were we looking here? Pelicans without some of those bodies there, but you're talking about Raptors without some bodies. We'll go through it in a half second there. And then when you were talking about Jamal, yeah, 19.5. It's the highest total on the slate with this 248.5 there. But basically just Joker and Jamal get drafted. And, what are the chances that they're playing basketball in the fourth quarter today?
Not great.
Yeah.
Very thin.
Not great.
These guys play a ton of minutes as it is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily love it. Don't love it at all, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, especially when you look at ADP too, man. Like, you can take Jamal Murray or you can take Donovan Mitchell, Denny Avdia, James Harden, some really good picks that you can kind of do instead of the risk there with Jamal against Utah. Okay,
cool. Respected, dude. My apologies. Clipper Nation is correct. Keita is back in. He's been listed available. My apologies. Yeah, that's what you get when we're doing the balance, the double sports, and bouncing back and forth there. Nez, I'll kind of ask you a macro. Anything kind of game stackable here, where it's hey, we got high total, we got close spread. This is a really good game environment to get into when we're dealing with, hey man, Rockets might be a blowout, Thunder might be a blowout, Nuggets might be a blowout. When you're dealing with some of this stuff, are you thinking through the dynamic of hey man, we could stack up a couple of these games, or is a 10-game slate more of a play the best plays endeavor for you?
It's definitely play the best plays, but there are some ADPs that line up that I think you might as well stack them sometimes.
Okay. Such as
the Miami stuff. I think Miami kind of overlaps a little bit. So playing that in the form of a game stack, I think makes sense. Getting some hero, to tack on in the 6th round with your Miami stuff could probably make some sense. I was doing that. Was that 2 nights ago? Just it was just very natural to be able to do that. So, and then of course, the tight spread with Boston and Atlanta too, but I think that one's a little more difficult. It's kind of hard to get. Well, maybe maybe not, but I feel like Jalen Johnson and Tatum isn't quite as easy to get right now. But really easy to tack on Derek White or Peyton Pritchard to that team, or even Kata for that matter.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. We got Chris G rolling through, talking to Jamal. Love to see it. And we got Awin rolling through. What's good, my friend? Who is tonight's David Hamilton? Keep that information to yourself, please. We got Lakers at home. So that's the end of that road trip there. And then the 16-point favorites. Do you have a lean on the Luka stuff? I think you said out earlier.
I think he's out, but I'm taking him third.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's just like it's such a good spot that you don't want to miss out on it. And I do think Luka knows that, like, he's in the back of his mind. He's like, I'm in this MVP race now. Like, let me go get mine for the remainder of the season here and keep pushing us up. Like, all these games matter to them, right? To keep pushing them up in the Western Conference standings over the Rockets and Nuggets there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like they probably can't get to 2, but they can definitely fortify number 3.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're trying.
Yeah. Some ADPs that jumped out to me originally. I was in on Flag and Denny Avdia, but that's a little bit evergreen with me. But just that nice 240 total with a 10.5, and nobody's really pairing the two of them together because it's kind of like you're just trying to catch Denny falling to the 3rd round if you look at his ADP, and then Flag is getting pushed up to like that 7, 8, 9 range on the right-hand side of the board every time. So if you want to flip the board, that was kind of my favorite game stack combo that stood out as flip the board eligible on the right-hand side. It's a little uncomfortable to pass on, Sengun and Tatum and whatever there. But like, hey man, if that game goes like 2 total here and goes a little nuke, I like those two paired together.
Okay. Yeah, I like Clippers and Pacers too.
Nice. Yeah. First game on the slate here, 238, which is a very high total for a Clippers game there. 9.5. Pacers played straight up last time out there. I was going to say podcast P, but Pascal Siakam.
Spicy P.
He fouled out and then got ejected. He was definitely extra spicy the other night there, but Nembhard played really well and played like 30 plus minutes. Who's draftable for you in this one? We get the revenge Mathurin spot.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I think you can easily game stack this one. I really like Kawhi, obviously. Garland is pretty good at ADP.
Yeah.
Siakam's a really fun late round guy. And then Nembhard was going like undrafted to start the day, but he's getting drafted like every time now. But I love Nembhard today. Cool.
Yeah, I respect the take there. Nembhard in the 30s there. Pascal Siakam available in like the 4th or 5th round every single time there. Benny Mathis free in the last round. He's 1 game coming back. He scored 40 fantasy points in like 27 minutes since coming back there. Not going to mess around with 5s on the Pacers side there. Probably a good spot for like Brook Lopez, but way too large a slate for the bigs on the Clippers side there. Anyone else like kind of like matchup stuff standing out to you and other spots that you like?
I'm with you big time on the Portland stuff with Dallas. Pretty big fan of that one. I know I have a ton of I have some really concentrated exposures here. Sorry, just give me 2 seconds and I will pull that up. My highest drafted player right now is Spida. Just really liking that matchup, that game. They didn't show up in the way that I thought they would the first time they played. So
that was second night of a back-to-back too.
Exactly.
And Miami's a tough team to play on the back-to-back because they defend the bigs so well and they also play so fast that if you have tired legs in a back-to-back against Miami, this one could go a little different.
Yep. So a lot of Spida, a lot of Porzingis too. Minutes are limited, of course, but I think the matchup is just so good, and he's been playing 27-ish minutes right now. I just think it's just going to be really easy for him to like put the value that you need up at his cost right now.
Yeah, he put up, I think it was 51 or 52 fantasy points the last time they played Washington as well. That was like when he was a 6th round pick that was going like lowly drafted, and you had a boat full that day. Do you like the matchup more or less now that we just got Alex Sarr listed available in that one?
I don't like it less.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, kind of like net neutral there. It's probably still good.
Yeah.
Yeah. D'Anthony Melton in the last round is a nice little pivot off of that stuff if he's going like 100% of the time, or Pods is going 100% of the time, just because people like that Wizards matchup. Like, dude, Melton can get his in 25 minutes in the 6th round, even though it's a 10-game slate.
Yeah, that's your boy, man. He can hoop.
Thoughts on two kind of, all right, there's kind of like 3 pivotal decision points in the mid board here. The first one being, do you push the Lakers guys up with some contingent plan that Luka doesn't play? So have you been pushing up anything on the Reeves and or Braun side? And is there one that you prefer versus the other if Luka doesn't go tonight?
I think I prefer Reeves if Luka doesn't go.
Mm-hmm.
But you're getting both these guys kind of at ADP a lot right now.
Sure.
Which is pretty interesting. So just taking them at ADP for the moment, not chasing them too hard, but it's probably worth getting a little aggressive on these guys because you're going to get CLV if Lucas sits, obviously.
Right. Yeah. Will that be a big portion of your portfolio today or no?
No, I don't think so. It hasn't been yet.
Okay. Raptors versus those back-to-back Pelicans, kind of some decision points here. Like, doesn't look like a great matchup on paper for Zion, but Zion's kind of had a nice uptick in recent memory. I put him on the cover just as a talking point, because, second night of a back-to-back Zion here where he could play a little point Zion, he could play 5 Zion, etc. He's going to have Scotty Bolway, aka Scotty Barnes, up in his jersey all night, which is, not an enjoyable place for him there. But if they stay competitive in this game, it's probably going to have to funnel through him. So what are you doing with kind of like the Zion and BI tier with no IQ, no Trey Murphy, and no DeJounte Murray tonight?
I got Zion, I think, ahead of Garland and Siakam right now. Okay. I think he's going to have to do a lot, man. And like, is it a matter of, ability, or is it a matter of like system and setup for Zion? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm willing to find out today. Like you said, he's been playing better on top of all that. So, you get Zion on maybe an upswing mixed with, a high usage spot. Yeah, I'd like to find out what that looks like.
Okay. Is there any draftable Chicago piece against the Thunder that's not named Josh Giddey today? I noted that they're going to be very thin at the 5. They've also shut down a whole bunch of their handling. Like Ivy's done for the year. Simons is listed out here. Jalen Smith's done for the year. This team's going to be like really thin, especially if you get no Yabo, no Nick Richards here. Is there anything to go to?
I mean, maybe Buzelis, because like kind of have to. He has to play. Not you have to, but he has to play. And they've been playing these guys like uber full, but they're still probably going to get killed today. But yeah, like there's some minute safety if they can possibly manage to keep this close. Maybe like a run back thing. We were talking about game stacks. If for whatever reason Chicago can keep this a close game, like I would probably want to, get with your J-Dub teams, if you're going to do like J-Dub, Giddey, and Buzelis on one team or something, like, I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. I'd be a little scared about J-Dub with like
sorry for saying J-Dub. I meant Giddey. I don't know why I said J-Dub. I'm not drafting J-Dub today.
Yeah. The Thunder side of stuff, is there any like inclination to play for blowout? Like, could you play like, get to Wiggins, get to Jalen with a Y, like, and just go, hey, this is an amazing matchup for 5s. Yeah. And if Hartenstein and Chet ain't it, like, let's just go ahead and get to Jalen. Chet's out.
Right.
That's new.
Yeah. So I should have mentioned that. Yeah. He's been out for a little bit now. Yeah. I don't like playing blowout run because I feel like I'm not good at guessing it. So not something that I've been doing, but yeah, I mean, it makes sense with no Chet. Like we know Jay Will's game. They're just so healthy. It's just like hard to know who's going to get the blowout run.
Yeah, fair enough. The Utah stuff, is there anything to chase here? Any blowout run stuff to chase? Any Ace Bailey has this frothy ADP, but then he came down in minutes last time out against Washington when they were trying to tank. Does he vault back up because it's like, hey, we're 20-point dogs and it's the Nuggets now? We can just let Ace go full. Bryce Sensabaugh likes to get his. Kyle Filipowski returning to the lineup here to get that Joker matchup. Is there anything on Utah you want to draft today?
Not really, but I do feel like it is worth noting that, I saw, I think it was Winky retweeted an ETR sub that basically summarized everything Dink said in his show yesterday, which was that basically Utah was 100% losing that game. That was in their MO. So maybe Ace Bailey goes back to full. The one thing that does concern me is, Filipowski and Sensabaugh back in the fold where they really weren't when Bailey was popping off. Mm-hmm. Cody Williams plays a ton of minutes too. I do think it's not quite as safe as it once was for Bailey. So I'm not drafting a ton of Ace Bailey.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it was Chet got ruled out 2 hours ago. Filipowski was put in 2 hours ago. Jordan Miller was put in 2 hours ago. And then we got all the Wizards stuff listed available there with Sar, Bilal Coulibaly, Trey Johnson, and Tristan Vukovic there. So that's going to take out any, crazy scroll the F down Washington stuff that we could get to. And then DeAnthony Melton just got a Q tag. So that's a little less bullish on my scroll in the last round there. Is there, let's just kind of do a little scroll segment and then we will do the draft. I imagine Derek White is no longer available at this ADP. He had a Q tag previously, and now he's going to be screaming up draft boards with the combination of JB being listed out and then him being listed in. He's going to project way better than this. Maybe Sadiq Bey gets a little bit of steam just because of missing so many bodies with the Pelicans. Who else do you kind of like back here?
Oh man, not a lot. Sure. I think the deepest scroll that I like is Shepard and Pritchard.
Okay. Yeah.
Spicy whites, fancy whites back there.
Yeah. Pritchard's definitely in play. Shepard definitely could get hot from three and play extended against Memphis there. He's also good leverage off of all the other Houston stuff going early here.
Yeah. What do you think about these ancillary maps like PJ Washington here?
I think I'd take Najee over PJ, but that's just kind of inherent biases. But PJ playing the 5 is pretty interesting with no Gafford and if no Musa Cisse available. And then obviously Derek Lively's done for the year. So we get that PJ 5 spot, and I like playing PJ more when he plays the 5. And we did say we kind of like that game. So
right. Yeah. It made me think a little bit.
I think I'd rank Najee first, but PJ, I feel high total, closer spread than some of these other football spreads. Yeah. That one seems pretty interesting.
And we got Robert Williams with a Q tag today, by the way, in that game. It's not a back-to-back, but he only played 13 minutes against the Bucks. But maybe they were just doing whatever they wanted that game. So that could just be hey, why play Robert Williams more minutes than we have to? But if taking Donovan Clingan ahead of projection makes me a slappy, then brother, I'm a fucking seal.
I respect it. Yeah, I mean, Donovan Clingan is just so much size for anybody else on the other side to deal with.
A lot of size. Yeah. Speaking of size, Toxic Tower hopping in. What's up, boys?
Size. Yeah, man, Bagley might have to play a boatload to match size if Musa Cisse is out, and that makes the PJ stuff a little less desirable if he plays the 4 and then Bagley starts. Man, Bagley might be a cheeky pick'em scroll candidate today with no Gafford and having to match Kling Kong size.
Yeah, I just feel like they got sick of this dude so quick.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? Yeah.
It should be a play Bagley a ton slate. We should. Yeah, he sucks. But it's so fun whenever he actually gets minutes. It's oh yeah, here comes 20 and 20.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. If you just had Bagley versus Time Lord for 30 minutes each, just banging bodies down there, they'd both score 1,000 fantasy points. Anybody else down at the bottom that you can get to, like, Keita versus Atlanta? Is that something we can get to today now that he's been listed in? Drew in that same matchup might be a little bit underrepresented down here, but we don't love to play it when Denny's in.
Yeah. I think who'd you say right before Drew? I just was thinking about that guy. Keita. I think Keita's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a bunch of box scores less than 30, but every once in a while, you keep staying on brand with the Toxic Tiger, you keep cranking with the jack in the box, and then one of these days a 50 ball just like pops up out of nowhere, and no JB on the slate. I mean, for whatever it's worth, I don't think that makes Keita that much better of a play, but JB does a lot, when he's on the floor. He gets boards, he controls the rock quite a bit. Like, I do think that makes it a slightly better environment for Keita, that makes him like I would normally never throw Keita in as like a throw in, but I mean, like 2 or 3 Keita shares, I think is like totally fine.
All right. Sounds good, man. Thoughts on Pods and Guy Santos as like auxiliary pieces versus Washington today?
Yeah, I like the Pod stuff.
Okay.
Guy with Zinger there, I just think kind of really killed his ceiling.
Okay. Respect it, man. Yeah. Can we play Fears jumping into the starting lineup potentially today or no?
I don't love the spot.
Right. Probably get some Jamal Shed treatment.
Right. But I mean, he's going to start. And he's good. We like Fears. So,
Probably better off just playing Sadiq.
Probably. But, yeah, I can't help but think that's like, at worst, it's fun.
Yeah. Memphis probably has too many bodies to play anyone today against the Rockets, even if there's blowout. So that feels like a complete write-off spot. Jazz, I could probably say the same thing outside of like Ace and some of those ones we talked about.
John.
Washington, I don't want to play anyone because they are basically as full as they've been in months now.
Without looking, who is the top at ADP for Memphis?
Top ADP Memphis.
Yeah, when you type in Grizzlies, who's at the top? And chat, don't spoil it.
Javon Small.
No. Is he? Yeah, no ADP.
Taj Gibson with the highest ADP. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What are we doing? I mean, if they're going to use a game on Javon Small today and he's going to hunt Reed Shepherd a little bit, like he could play 30 today and it probably still doesn't matter. But he's definitely the only, like him and Gigi would be like the only playable, and Gigi probably has a way worse matchup. So yeah, just write him off. That's hilarious. Taj smash spot. Let's get it, baby. Crystal's motions. Oh my gosh.
Pena's in the game. Sorry, just throwing that out there.
Say again?
Jeremy Pena.
He's in?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Okay, so my read was wrong. I thought that he was going to miss a little bit.
Yeah, guess who's in left field?
I was really hoping to be Cam Smith, but then is he in right?
Cam Smith is in right field.
Okay, so he's still in. I kind of want to play Cam Smith. Okay, you're framing this because you want to prove me wrong, and I was like, no, it's not going to happen. I don't want you to tell me that it's Jordan because I'll be very upset if Jordan's playing the outfield already. It's Jose Altuve in left.
It's Jordan.
Oh, God, that's so bad, man. Why are they doing this? Fuck that, dude. They said they weren't going to do it. They wanted to keep him healthy. He was only going to DH just to squeeze Isak Paredes bat into the lineup in a game for the second game of the season. You're putting Jordan out and left. Like, get fucked, man. That's so bad. Fuck, that makes me mad, dude. I don't get mad about anything, Nez. and that one pissed me off.
I didn't mean to make you so upset.
We just had such high hopes for him staying healthy this year, and it just, yeah. Shout out to the emo cowboy for dropping off a Patch Bros membership here. He's looking for that run good. So we got Ryan looking for the run good. We got Troy looking for the run good. We got Kyle looking for the run good. Car Park drops off 25, and he's like, "Yo, here comes the super run good." Caleb Daniels brought up the best chat talking point of the day, and now emo cowboy's looking for the run good. So nice Friday out here for the fellas. Nobody has still touched the drop off of Best Ball Alec yesterday. That's what it takes to get that 1K win. Yeah.
You two can break even.
All right, Nez, let's jump in and just see what it looks like on the fly. Shit, that's baseball. Draft number, what is this, 14, 15 for your boy here. See what it looks like. Fire up the old solver assist so I can get my first look at projections there. I'll drop the link in the chat for everybody there when you don't know what we're working with. The solver draft assistant there, promo code BADGE in all capital letters will get you 20% off. Only place on planet Earth that you can get 20% off. The solver is right here.
That's
Turn
right.
that bad boy on and bang.
You might need a refresh or check your settings if you want to show
What'd I do?
dink projections or not.
Okay. I will change settings and
There it is. Okay.
Get the ETR stuff in there for us so we can see what it looks like. Awen, did I miss baseball? Yeah, man, we did the MLB drafts at the start, my friend. Did baseball first and then basketball now. So roll it on back. If I shake it for emo, he's going to drop more than a B back. Love to see it. All right. Matt's in here with us. Fun Dip Rips is in here with us. This is kind of the alpha right now. Interesting to note that Jalen Johnson's going fourth in like every draft there. You said you kind of like Jalen Johnson there, Nez, and yet his projection was significantly lower than some of those other targets there. We could do the Kawhi and then bring up Tatum. That would be like the solver play. Well, why don't we try that and see what it looks like?
I think this is the move.
Okay.
Tatum looks like such a good play today, dude.
Yeah, you get Atlanta. We saw him return to form last time out with the 50 fantasy points. We've been joking about the hitch in his shot, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm glad we got that Jay Brown news early. Thank God.
Awen saying not financial advice, but he wanted to flaunt that he's drafting Connor Norby. We talked about that one on the program. Love the lineup spot for him. A little bit of a lefty killer. Once upon a time, big time prospect pedigree there. So yeah, feels good.
Going out for dinner tonight with some friends of Bria's.
Oh, nice.
They're my friends too, but I know them because they're her friends. Going to I have no idea what this place is. I don't know the name of it. I don't know where it is. I don't know what it looks like, but I'm told it's tacos. So I kind of think like street vendor when I hear tacos, but I'm like, are we sitting down and having these tacos? Like,
I got this for you, dude. This is going to be a taco place that you've never experienced before. It's going to be like those woke ass fusion tacos with like fancy cocktails and like, all of a sudden you're like looking at these and you're like, dude, this isn't a taco. Like this is sushi taco. Like what is this crap?
I'm about to find out. God, sushi tacos sounds terrible.
There's a couple spots like that. It's not bad, yo.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Jake Ham's asking, can y'all rank the top 5 without JB now?
I think kind of top 4 there is good, and then Kawhi for me.
Yeah, gun to my head, dude. I would do Joker, Luka, SGA, Kawhi, Sengun. I think I like the Sengun matchup more than the Jalen Johnson one.
Okay.
But that might be famous last words. And then I think it's kind of like a tier of its own. and you can mix and match. I think Flag would be my next favorite of the group, then Tatum, and then I kind of really like some of the Denny, Klingon, that kind of stuff, and then I would get into like Donovan, Giddy, and Harden as a tier. That's where my mind's at right now.
Okay. Yeah, I think I do need to put a little bit more respect on Şengün. The matchup for him is just like as good as it gets.
We're gonna have the does Luka play basketball decision here because we're gonna have the Lakers guys staring us in the face. We could play the contingent play there, Nez. We could pull up like Zion or something. We could do Amen Thompson, who's right here, who has a solid matchup against Memphis. What do you like?
I've been doing Amen here. We don't have a Rocket here, so it feels fine.
Okay.
And then I've been fading Mobley with Jared Allen back in the fold.
Sure. Yeah, that's something we didn't talk about. Good point.
But like, I don't know, the ADPs might be fine. You want to do little Reeves or Braun here? Play right. No Luka?
Yeah, let's play no Luka and just play that Reeves is going to play more minutes than LeBron without Luka, and he's going to take on that lead handling role more than LeBron will, and Reeves becomes a better play without Luka.
This is like a really nice restaurant I'm going to. This is not like tacos. Like tacos. Like what do you maybe it's called Jocko, so maybe she meant don't dox me, don't show up at my dinner, but maybe she meant to say Jocko whenever she said, and I thought she said tacos.
Yeah.
But like, why would you just say the name of the restaurant? Because right. it is, not Tex-Mex, but it's like that variety. So, okay.
All right.
I'm in for a treat.
A lot of layers to this.
I'm in for a treat. Might get a Carajillo after dinner. You ever have one of those?
No, I don't think so. What is it?
It's like it's like an espresso martini, but it doesn't come in a martini glass. It's got like a coffee liqueur with espresso, and it's like a sweet, like it's sweet, and then you get it in like just like a glass you get like an old fashioned in, big ice cube. Yeah, Carajillo.
Muy
fuego.
Look at us, the cultured folks. Yeah, Awen, I noticed this too. That it does say Oakland now that
but
we
if you search Oakland, nothing comes up.
Yeah, we switched to the daily games, and it went from just being athletics to now saying Oakland, but you have to type in athletics for athletics to come up, but it still says Oak underneath. I think that'll get sorted out as the player pool gets refined over the next couple of days here. J-Cam says he's fading Luka because I thought they'd give him a rest spot here. Famous last words too. Yeah, I'm torn on it, man. I'm really interested to hear what Gallagher's thoughts were on the ETR show there. Really curious to go through rummaging through the Unabated Discord to see what their thoughts were. But I think it makes sense from the outside looking in to us that this would be a rest spot. They get a road trip, then they come home, then they get the Nets here. It makes like too much sense. That being said, I don't think Luka sees it the same way, right? And we've had this conversation before. Second night of a back-to-back, bad travel in Miami, all three of them played. Game against the Pacers, Q tag all day on the Friday night. Luka plays and goes nuke in the first quarter. I'm kind of done reading the tea leaves this time of year with it.
Okay, yeah, I think it's a good call. Right, Kristaps just like staring us in the face here. Sick projection.
Mm-hmm. Let's do. I got a plan here, dude.
All right, yeah, tell me.
We go zinger there. We're pretty chalky with the ADPs and stuff, except for flipping the front end. But that's going to become the new alpha there. Let's go ahead and take Drew Holiday and be like that game plays close.
Okay.
And Drew plays a little bit more expanded, and not enough people are jamming the front end of Portland, but not enough people will be taking Drew.
Yeah, no, that's fun. I like that. All right, I hate to draft and dash, but I am.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I am on that schedule. So.
Yeah.
Good team. Good luck tonight, everybody. No strip tonight once I get back and kid settles down. Probably. And Luka's available.
Luka available. There you go. Right in real time, guys.
I'll see you tonight. No strip. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not sure what we're going to do, but I'll be yapping. So see you guys there.
Sounds good, man. No strip, Nez. Later this evening, we got to get some more drafts in here on our own accord. But I'll tie a bow on it right there for the people. Reed Shepherd obviously popping a little bit with that matchup. Didn't want to do it when I have Almond. That's kind of like negatively correlated. I think Sadiq Bey is a good scroll there. This last round does fall off a little bit. Did see in the chat, can we draft Jared Allen? I would not. I think it's probably, we've seen this ad nauseum with Cleveland. We've seen this ad nauseum with Cleveland, that they just go ahead and run these guys staggered when they come back. Like Jared Allen's missed a month now, right? And they run like staggered when they come back. They might play him off the bench. Plus, he's going up against either Bam or Khalil Ware or something like that. It's not a great spot for fives, even though it's pace up. So I'd probably be soft fading that. Like if you wanted a scroll from that game environment, I'd probably rather play Norm. That being said, Norm it hasn't been great in recent memory there. It's just kind of like how much can he score? It's a very similar role to what he was playing with the Clippers. It's kind of like crazy that he was an all-star this year, but not to discredit Norm. But like I like Jaime so much better than him from a real life basketball standpoint. But that's not a decision for tonight. Yeah, Luka's available, so it makes our Reeves pick look a little worse, but it's probably fine in terms of projection in that range. But yeah, Luka's the 102 tonight. You could argue that he might even be the 101, but I'm never taking anyone over Joker. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. I think Benny Math revenge spot is totally fine to play. He's going to play anywhere between 25 and 35 minutes and just hope it's on the right-hand side of that spectrum. Probably wouldn't pair him with my Garland or my Kawhi teams, but if you want to get into that game environment, feels pretty good. Jabari Smith Jr. probably won't run the most minutes on the team in a game like this, but never say never because he always does play the most minutes. So if you wanted to play like Jabari or Tari in the last round because you're playing a little bit of that blowout side of the Memphis stuff and it just gets home in a contrarian way, I think it's fine. Filipowski will project, good enough to draft every single time in the last round, but we haven't seen ceiling in a long time and we're not going to see it against Joker, especially with his propensity to foul. They do need him out there from a size standpoint for Joker, though. So yeah, but I think Bryce would probably be my favorite Utah scroll. Pritchard goes undrafted in this one. It's definitely a good matchup for him to run that second unit and get hot from that second unit, but he'll be dealing with some tough on ball in Na and Dyson and stuff like that. So man, really flat 6th round tier here that you got to tell yourself some stories. The spreads are kind of like dictating that. Pirtle's in a good spot for fives. It's unfortunate that like all the fives are back for Toronto, that you don't really want to play, Pirtle when all of them are there, but like it's not terrible. Najee feels good. And like Musa Cisse here, like, dude, I'm gonna say it. Mix in a Marvin Bagley or two tonight. I think they need the size, man. I think they need the size. Marvin Bagley seems like a dude that you can scroll to tonight. Aaron Gordon, they're probably going to play him because they did like the back-to-back thing, and then Peyton Watson plays one side, and then the other guy plays the other side. If you want to get to auxiliary highest total on the slate and just be like one other guy wins, Aaron Gordon's going to be super contrarian in the last round today. Yeah. All right, guys, I will see you in the lobbies here. Nez will see you later for a no strip Nez. Loaded week here. Just getting in tons of baseball, tons of basketball there. Best of luck to everybody in their contest. Go check out our beautiful friends over at Unabated there who have teamed up with the Ballpark Pal, so you can use some of the prop simulations with their projections right in there. I'll be drafting some baseball here and then drafting some basketball closer to lock. So I will see you guys in the lobbies. Appreciate all the donations today. Appreciate all the gifted memberships. Much love. Hopefully someone in the community can take down one of these contests tonight. Over 100,000 up for grabs on Underdog Fantasy. Much love to you guys. Enjoy the weekend. Back on Monday. Nez will be back tonight for a no strip Nez. Everybody's favorite time of the show, the end. Peace.